This may have been my favorite one thus far. No wonder it's called Main Deb. Cool.
Hi, my name is Troels. Welcome to Soundpaint. In the video today, we're going to go deep and back in time into our beautiful Hammond organ. This is a faithfully deep sampled B3 Hammond organ from 1968. And I thought it could be interesting just to show you the parts to begin with and how they're organized, because this is extensive deep sampling of a very, very complex instrument. As you may know, the Hammond organ uses tone wheels, which is a somewhat complicated mechanism of these spinning wheels and magnets doing a variety of electromagnetic conduction to the sound and stuff that is far beyond my pay grade to explain. But essentially every note has a unique tone wheel or a tone generator on it. And that's really one of the things that makes the instrument so alive, that each tone is generated through a very, very analog style of oscillator, if you will, but driven by these spinning wheels and electromagnets capturing all that goodness. So for that reason, for me, I've played and made many Hammond emulations in my life, but nothing comes quite as real as the real deal when it really comes to feeling the grit and pizzazz of this super cool instrument. Let me just show you how deep the madness go. Look here in the UI. This is under parts. You may have noticed in Soundpaint that we have something called attack triggers and we have something called release triggers. In the case of the Hammond organ and many other instruments, I actually think that, and I sometimes wonder as well, why have we only focused on the release trigger of the instrument, meaning that that's when you let go of the key, when in fact the first thing that hits the ear is the attack. So with this library and many libraries to come, we actually have a whole dedicated library of just attack sounds. We're going to focus a lot more on these percussive sounds that hits the ear first, because they're super good for coloring. But that's just the beginning of it. Let me just show you what an attack trigger sounds like. And another drawbar. So you can hear every drawbar here marked by a number. Sounds very, very different. So in the library, we recorded 10 different drawbars isolated on the instrument. So for example, number 2 here is very, very soft. You can hear all the grit here. The note is not repeated. It's always doing something new when I repeat the same note, and that makes it more alive as well. But if I go down here and I play the Hammond organ in its sort of direct input style or output, you're just going to hear a soft note. I can combine them. And you can hear it now. I have a little more of a sort of attack kind of vibe to the instrument. Down here, you'll notice that it says DI. So these are the direct input or the direct output of the instrument. So really the clear tone of the instrument in its sort of core concept. We also have the infamous chorus mode on the Hammond organ as well. Let me just add that here to the mix. And let me just isolate the chorus so you can hear it isolated. Versus the DI. So we're getting a little more character of the original chorus from the unit. But that's just the beginning. You may know that the Hammond organ is also known for its infamous vibrato as well. Let me try to replace the chorus here with the vibrato from the second one here as well. So you can hear it's starting to sound more like a Hammond organ. Let me just control the volume of this guy here as well and associate that to my mod wheel too, so I can sort of control how much vibrato I want. But you might be noticing here that I'm just mixing the sounds together. One of the beautiful things about Soundpaint, especially with the Hammond organ, is that we are not just limited to mixing, which is sort of conventional sampling, we can actually morph as well. And that makes a big difference when we go into the world of Leslie speakers. The Hammond is very known for having this awesome Leslie speaker, this rotating cabinet that adds further like vibrato, like tremolo vibe to the instrument. Let me show you what that sounds like. And we also deep sample this in 2 different states. The Hammond is known for going from slow states of Leslie to faster states, and you can do that. But because of the morphing, you can fully control how the waves glide together. So we're not mixing, but we're morphing. Let me try to show you. Let's just take the vibrato here and take a fast Leslie and then try to morph between the 2 here. So morphing and mixing are 2 different methods. Let me just try to use conventional mixing so you can hear the difference here. Let me just isolate to these 2 parts down here. And you can hear the note is sort of being mixed together. But if you morph it, it's different. And let me just show you all the 10 drawbars side by side here with the chorus effect, just so you can get an idea about the sonic character for each of them. Oh, I love this one here. It's so like church organy. Let me try to create a little bit here. I'm going to associate the shimmer here to my mod wheel so we can make it more church organy. Just such a beautiful note. And you can hear the tone wheel in it, like how much beautiful stuff. Like sometimes I actually just like to listen to notes, not even music, but just appreciate what goes on. You can hear that slow movement in it versus the faster Leslie speaker here. So nice. But let's go into the programs here. Before we get into it, let me just preface that we have some amazing performers in this video here. So if you don't want to watch me sort of dabble and be a layman on the Hammond organ, check out Natalie, Nicholas a little bit later. You can find all their stuff in the channel description down here if you just want to skip chapters. But they really know how to play this instrument here. I'm more just going to show you how it works in general and just take you through a couple of the presets that I've made here. I'm so fascinated with this instrument because the different drawbars can do so much. And in Soundpaint, it becomes that on steroids. You can make this to a church organ. You can make it into like a cutesy like Sesame Street type of sound. You can make it into a reggae, more dub heavy thing. It can be rock and roll. It can be soft. It can be soulful. It can be modern. It can be old. Anything you really want to do it. There are just so many different options. In fact, there's over 60 different deep sample drawbars in the library. So there's just so much stuff you can do. Let me take you through a couple of things here. And the verb digi here, one of the effects, really has that old school kind of played digital reverb from the early 80s. Also love its sort of softer sides. That soulful vibe, I just love it. And here's another sort of soft take on it, really, really soft vibrato. So nice. One of the other cool aspects to the library is, as I mentioned, the attack triggers. If you use them in ample amounts, you can really create a dirty, dirty organ sound. One of the things I also love about the Hammond, I sometimes see it as sticky keys. It's a little hard to describe, but I feel like sometimes it's like, it sounds like sticky, like I almost don't want to let go or something. So much magic, you hear that? I often ask myself, and I ask the instrument as well, instrument, what are you telling me? And in this case here, I just hear a lot of air and heartbeat in the sound. Life. It doesn't sound like a dead computer. One of my favorite programs in the library is by Semrad here, and it's a favorite for a couple of different reasons. First of all, because it's using the morphing feature here between a slow Leslie and a fast one, but also because it's a masterful program. If you notice here in the racks, there's not really anything going on, and there's just a single effect on it. And sometimes I think with programs, they're so beautiful when they have that minimalistic thing, and it also speaks to the quality of the source material. You don't need that much, really. You can just build something really, really quick and get going. But check this one out here, Empty Church. You can really hear the morphing here. Just check from the slow. Let me just do one note here. So alive. This really reminds me about an old school vintage analog synthesizer. There's just so much life in the sound. It's never really the same. Here's like soulful vibrato. And before we really get into the meat and potatoes of this video here, let me just play one of my favorite patches in the library. This is called Main Heaven. It really is sort of subtle in the beginning, but it becomes this beautiful, explosive, giant cathedral church organ, if you will. And after that, we're going to see some beautiful performances by Semrad and by Natalie, who's going to go in a very extensive journey with this library, who are each presenting and offering very different perspectives on this very, very complex and beautiful instrument. All right, next up is Natalie Tenenbaum, who's really going to take this library on a deep, beautiful journey and with her magical playing skills. So I actually really enjoy making these videos because I get to see people play the instruments a lot better than I can. That's a beautiful thing.
Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Natalie Tenenbaum. Today I'm back here with Soundpaint to try out the 1968 B3 organ. I absolutely love this library. If you're a pro organ player or sound designer or composer or anybody who just loves the organ like I do, you're going to find, like anything else on Soundpaint, there's just limitless possibilities with this. I'm not really going to go that deep into the parts today, even though I will say that you can literally build and recreate any kind of Hammond sound that you're familiar with just with these parts. I'm going to just play around and see like what I can come up with, but then I'm going to jump over to the programs and kind of play through those because I really love, there's just so many creative programs that come with the sound library that I want to show you guys. So without further ado, this is the 1968 B3 organ. Let's go. Let's see. Let's do, I don't know, vibrato 7. I'm just going rogue here. Let's see. Leslie slow, Leslie fast, and let's see what this one, percussion, Leslie slow. Let's see what that sounds like without assigning anything yet. Let's see. So of course this is like full blast. I can tone this down. Assigning this and just let's see. Very cool. Very cool. All right, so let's see what the brilliant minds at Soundpaint made for us on the programs. Let's see what we got. All right, so let's just go from the top. So the first program we have is the Black Hole, the organ, B3 organ Black Hole. Let's see what that is. I wonder what that sounds like down the octave. Let's see. Oh, it's kind of a vibe. I like that. I love the sound, the clicking sound. Cool. Let's see what else we got. Organ Churchy. Nice. So when one volume thing goes up, the other goes down, you see? That's how it's not getting too loud. It's very smart programming of this thing. Love. That was Churchy. Let's see. Oh, I love this one. I'm going to heart it before I forget. This one's called Organ Crazy Sustain. So as properly named, when you click the sustain pedal, something really cool happens. So it's a combination of the Leslie Slow 3 and the Leslie Fast 3. Let's see just what it sounds like before I start clicking any pedals. Let's see. Cool. And then I'm going to click the sustain pedal. Check this out. How cool is that? Cool. So it's like. It's cool. It's like a sunken end, you know? So cool. So the way this is achieved, it appears to me, is with the delay. And the other libraries, I'm going to make a mental note of that because that's so cool. Moving on, let's see. Organ Dreamy Android. Let's see what that is. Cool, I like that. Let's see what that sounds like down the octave. Cool, very dreamy. Well named. All right, let's see. Organ Empty Church and S and S. Nothing like an empty church. Feel like you're in an empty church. like I said, I mean, I never have to add anything to these. They're just so good. Okay, let's see. This is organ Faithless. Faithless. Interesting. Cool. Let's see. Organ. Which one is this one? Formant Organ. So moving on. Let's see, little cubes. Ooh. Very staccato-y one. I like it. It's just made out of 2 different attack triggers. Cool, I like that. Okay, organ main dub. This may have been my favorite one thus far. No wonder it's called main dub. Cool. Let's move on. So, main rock. The organ is one of my favorite instruments of all times. I wish I had a real Hammond B3 in here, but this is really close, I'm not gonna lie. In some ways it's better because you can combine it with different instruments, which I'm not doing right now, but can't wait to try doing that later. Let's see. Okay, so this is main soft Leslie. Love. All right, so moving on, we have the main soft vibrato. Cool. Also a favorite. If I just heart everything, what happens? All right, let's see. Ninos or Ninos? I don't know. Ninos Organ. Let's see what that is. There's a nice Leslie on it. Which one's that? Cool. It has some chorus on it. Yeah, some chorus on it. Some analog filter. Very cool. All right, let's see what this one is. Organ, B3 organ. Which one's this? Let's see. Mellorgan. I see. Pitch shift on here is dramatic. I appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, there's another one. Let's see how it's different. like that. That's cool. All right. Organ reggae. Cool. Retro. Ah, so good. Moving on. Retro. Soulful Vib. I already like this one. Let's see. Beautiful. Let's see what these are. Tape machine. Yes, yes indeed. It's like one of the coolest thing you can do on the organ. Also very cool. Tape machine rewind. Very cool. See what tape rewind 2 sounds like. Cool. Tape rewind 3. It's a whole vibe. It's a vibe. Right, and last but not least, organ vibe. It's as if I knew. Oh, that's nice. So it's filtered. That's what's happening here, the tone. Cool. So as you guys can tell, there's some really strong choices here. Really cool sounds. I hope you enjoy exploring it as much as I have. And I hope you enjoy exploring the different parts, attack, release, all the other stuff, and combining it with other instruments, which I can't wait to try. Because this is such a rich Hammond sound that really allows for soulfulness and like a realness that is kind of hard to come by when you're trying to do it on a keyboard and not on the actual organ. So this was super fun to explore. I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. And until next time, I've been Natalie Tenenbaum, and this was Soundpaint's 1968 B3 organ. Take care.
But because you've made it to the end of the video, I have a little bit of an experiment for you here. I just want to build something completely from scratch and just take you through how I like to create presets. It may or may not be useful, but with a library like this that have so many different options, it might be useful just to get an idea about what little tricks you can do in terms of really getting into the Hammond here. So let's get started. Let me see here. Let me start with an attack trigger. Let me find one I really like. Eight was nice. I like that one. And let's see, maybe get something with a little bit of character. The DIs are nice, but they're a little bit static to me sometimes. They're great if you want that non-vibrato sound, but I want something with a little more life here. Oh, that too. You can also use your arrow keys, which is super nice in Soundpaint, so you can browse this way as well. Yeah, that's nice. Let me just try to build it that way, actually. It is faster with the keys than with the mouse. So I'm just listening for different colors. Yeah, that's nice. It's like super dirty. Fast Leslie here as well. I'm going to put that over here because I want to do some morphing between a slower one here. Let me just go back and listen to the slow. Well, let me just show you these guys down here. We actually have percussive effects. I forgot to show them before. So these are sort of the super overtones that you get on Hammond organs. You're really into them. They're sort of an additional register that you don't commonly get on the drawbars. Okay, let's say I want to have the ability to control the intensity of the Leslie here. What I just did was to right click here. You can right click on any slider in Soundpaint and say add MIDI CC automation here. You'll see this thing here, and you can move any controller on your keyboard, no matter what it is, and it'll adjust up here. In this case, I'm doing it to my mod wheel, so I'm just moving my mod wheel, and then I'm going to set the amount here, so you can see if you look over here, that if it's full here, it's going to slide all the way back and forth. But if I limit the amount, I'm going to limit the stress amount on the slider here. And I think I'm going to do the same to the attack trigger. I don't really want that attack in the beginning here. So same trick here. You'll see we're not controlling these. And also want to tighten it up a little bit. I like very tight releases. I don't like instruments so much when the note hangs for too long. So I'm just going to tighten the releases here on all of them. It's cool. Let's add a little bit of EQ, see if we can enhance certain frequencies here. Ooh, it's so nice and like woolly. I feel, yeah, let's try this. One of the new things we've added to Soundpaint is you can just right click on the EQ band here and do the same control on your mod wheel. So I'm also going to take this guy here, associated to my mod wheel, because I want it actually to be a little bit below its normal frequency range here on this particular band to make it more vintage. You hear how like the normal sound was this, but now it's. So you can hear there's a notable difference, and I love using even more than filters, EQs, because I feel I can shape some of the beautiful aspects of the instruments and I can hide them a little bit too, which makes it fun to use the mod wheel, even more expression. Yeah, it's definitely like a stronger kind of Hammond sound we're going for here. Let me try a plate reverb on it here, see what happens. I like normally to put a little extra time on the time here, but take the mix down. It just gives this beautiful lush kind of stereo effect for the verb, but it's not dominating and saturating sound too much. And to make it even more vintage, I'll take the tone here and move it down a little bit on the reverb. Yeah. Yeah, like a really like a dusty plate verb. Yeah, cool. So normally I would say, okay, this is cool. Like this sort of gave me a character. I feel I found a new sound. But let's just try to go a little bit deeper and really mess it up. Let's do something a little bit larger here. Let's take a Lexi and beef up the time here and make it very shiny in the tone. I think it'd be even bigger. It can be fun to use the granular reverb sometimes as a reverb. Okay, let's add the amount of grains here on the mod wheel. No idea what this sounds like. This is so obvious. Let's make the biggest shimmer possible. That'd be size 10 and beef up the time on it. Take the mix here associated to the mod wheel at a very low scale because it's going to be so big. Let's see what happens. I like to sometimes fish for frequencies. Like where do we hear beauty? Ah, let's add another one at the end here. Do you hear those little clicks in the engine? There's just so much going on that Soundpaint starts becoming analog in its vibe, I would say. These are not like cold, static, like digital clicks and pops, but more that of the crackle of a vinyl record. And even though they probably shouldn't be there in the perfect digital cold realm, that's exactly how we like it in Soundpaint. It really, really feels like sitting with an analog in front of me, just enjoying it. I just want to try to create a rhythm out of the EQ here by assigning different LFOs and then syncing them and see if we can actually create a rhythm out of this tone here. I've never tried this before. Wow. Isn't that cool? It's like a train kind of moving. I mean, it's endless. When I play an instrument and I build these things here, I'm listening, what instrument are you trying to tell me? I'm listening to you. I want to get you. I want to understand all your beautiful characters and appreciate you for what you are. But what frequencies is having the most juice? How can I help you be even more beautiful? And I think in many ways that's what Soundpaint is about. It's just not just offering like vintage sounds and really go super, super deep, but also create an environment that really allows for super creative expressions like creating a rhythm out of an EQ. Who would have known?